I remember back like 10 years ago when I saw the clip Ari on the Street. It was a Fox News contributor and he was asking people, I believe it was in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, he was asking them, hey, you know how to get to the local Secretary of State, right? You can get to the DMV. You know how to get to a library to log onto a computer? And they go, well, I have a computer at home, but I also have my phone. And he asks black people in particular, do you know how to get an ID? They go, yeah, I have an ID right here. He says, hey, do you know how to get to the DMV? The guy tells him the street. The guy tells him the corners that it's on. He did all of that to prove what the left is saying is racist. That if you're going to say voter ID is required, that is racist because, well, minorities don't have IDs. That statement is racist because you are suggesting that the stereotypical minority person can't get, doesn't know how to get, or won't get an ID to prove that they are who they say they are so that they can vote legally under voter ID laws. Now, obviously, as we talk about voter integrity over the next couple of years before the next major election in 2022, big questions on how do we make sure that we have voter ID in the states that we can reasonably try to pass that in. A great question, but the same stereotypical racist thinking from the left is now on display with Joe Biden last night. On CNN, he's telling, I believe that's Anderson Cooper, why the black and Hispanic populations won't get the vaccine as easily. He says, like the left told Ari, it was because the black and Hispanic people in particular, and this is funny, he says, both in the rural communities where it's all spaced out, but also in the super urban communities where it's super tight knit. So, what? He says, in both instances, both racial minority blocks won't be able to access the vaccine because they just simply won't know how. They won't be able to log on to the internet because they can't figure it out, and they won't be able to figure out the registration. And if you don't think that's racist, then you're not paying attention. So listen to Joe Biden say what is probably not even in the top 10 racist things he's ever said. And then once you're done, like the video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, do your part to keep America afloat.
The other portion is a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccination at the Walgreens or at the particular store. The other portion is a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccination at the Walgreens or at the particular store.